All right. I am Joe Carmel of Quilts by Carmel, and this is,
I'm Ginger with Copycat Quilter.
and we are doing the Panel Palooza finale. Ginger, tell them a little about why you, how you contacted me and how we got started.
Yes, so I have a lot of panels, and you tend to collect them and then not ever use them. And I think in my brain, I kind of think of them as cheating. That it's like, oh, it's already done for you, and especially if you just put a few borders. So I wanted to do that, and I ran across your channel from T Quilts. And I saw your channel, and it's really funny because I saw you were doing some panels, and so I reached out and asked T if she would connect us because I didn't want to like go straight. And she did. And then when I was watching other things on your channel, I happened to see your goal this year was to use panels and your pre-cuts. So it was like a natural match because I didn't even see that before I asked you to do it. So I just thought it'd be fun. I've done a couple of panels already this summer by myself, and I see people do kind of challenges like this and thought it'd be fun to do one myself. So, and I think it was a really good match. We we definitely have kind of the same wavelength on making up our patterns as we go.
Absolutely. And it was a fun challenge for me. It really was. So thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I'll use the word challenge. It's one of those ones where I really wanted to throw it in the trash at some point. But then now that I saw it, I'm really pleased with it. It was just, I had a lot to do this month, and I probably bit off more than I can chew, but I finished at 10 o'clock last night. So it all worked out good. Yeah. I still need to figure out some borders maybe or things like that, but we have a piece top, so I'm happy with that.
All right. Okay. You want to show us? You want to go first?
Sure.
Or you want
Let's see if I can turn without losing. So this was what I came up with. I have a picture I'll share screen and show too, but this panel had the 8 different pieces, and they're a little bit different sizes. And I really like that it has this, I'll see if I can stand up without doing things. I really liked how it looked like pipes, like the panel has piping on it, has pipes around these things. And so I kind of wanted to stay with that theme. And I found, I'll share my screen and show. I found this pattern, if I can figure out, share content, share photos. And I have an album called Live. So, show selected. Is that working? It's kind of strange the way it's on the screen.
I don't see it yet.
Oh, okay. Of course. Let me try again. Share content. Let's just do screen. And
There we go.
photos. Oh,
There it is.
cool. So I did, yep, perfect. So I used a pattern from AccuQuilt as kind of the basis of it. Obviously, it doesn't look exactly like this one, but I did want to use the AccuQuilt pattern for those cornerstone kind of pieces, are where that whole woven effect comes in. So I used the pattern from AccuQuilt and figured out what needed to be a half square triangle and what the colors needed to be and things like that. And so I started playing with those. I think I have, yeah, there's a little detail shot of that. I wanted to keep the pipes really thin because, not to overwhelm the panel. So those are 1.5 inch strips. And when they're finished, they're 1 inch blocks. So those got to be some tiny little intricate blocks. I think I counted, there's like 12 pieces in that one little 9 patch of 1 inch blocks. Oh, but that was really what made the difference on the corners to make it look that way. So I stuck it up on the wall and started going, okay, now that I've got the little corner pieces on, how am I going to join them? And with it being different sizes, I couldn't just do straight lines across. So I think the hardest part of this quilt for me was just the first 3.5 weeks it took me to figure out what I was going to do and, how to make all those shapes. So this is just stuck on the wall showing, okay, I tried to put the green pieces between them and get the idea in my head of how they were going to connect. And just made the middle row. And then I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with those edges? And it really was just stick it on the wall. I didn't even measure. I would like lay a strip on and cut it off at the edge or make a chalk mark and cut it 1/4 of an inch more. Because the measurements just were wonky, because they were different sizes. I didn't even cut my rectangles to the same size because you can see some of them are kind of, they were actually printed. They're not off grain, they're printed kind of different shapes. They're not straight lines. So there was a lot of wonkiness going on on these.
I love it. I love how it looks like pipes all
Yeah,
throughout. Great
that
job.
was, whoops. I was really excited about that because that's the look I wanted to get to. And, you know, it turned out, whoops, sorry. It is one of those things that I was worried it wouldn't look like that. And I think it really turned out looking like pipes going every direction.
Yes.
So it was a challenge and it turned out really nice. I won't point out issues yet. I'll do
What
that later.
size is it? What size?
What size?
Uh-huh.
I have no idea, Joe. I didn't measure it.
It looks like a good size from those
Yeah.
2 blocks. That's what I'm
It's
asking.
close to 60 by 60. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big size quilt. And I didn't put borders. I need to figure out what I might do with those because there's no way I'm going to make those pipes extend into the border. And I have to figure out how to make it look like they weren't just cut off. So yeah, there's still some of that. But yeah, I think when I measured it, I think it's at least 52 by 52. And once I add a border, it's going to get up to the 60 by 60. And I think I mentioned in one of my videos, I do a lot for charity, and we have a charity that's in Philadelphia that provides like a week-long camp to kids who have lost a parent, and they have grief counselors and do kind of group therapy sessions and stuff, and they give all the kids a quilt. And I thought this would be nice for a little older boy. You know, it's not the little planes and trains, and it's not the primary colors or little cutesy animals. I thought this would be a little nicer for an older boy, but still, you know, not mature, not grown-up quilt.
Oh,
Yeah. So once I get the border on it, and it was funny, I did not intend, but I do see that it kind of makes hearts there.
yeah.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
But in order to get that row to connect to that one, you can see like the 2 in the middle are offset. So I had to get the pipe to turn to get to that other one. But I don't think they're obvious hearts, so nobody would go, oh, that's too cutesy or whatever. But yeah, I've been really happy with it. I'm glad I stuck with it.
It looks fantastic.
And I would actually consider making another one like this, as long as the squares are all square and I stayed with straight lines and not offsetting and all that kind of crazy stuff. That's what really got the brain hurting a little trying to figure out.
Yep.
Let me go out of that.
So do you have a lot of scraps?
Uh-oh. Where am I? I can't find this anymore, Joe. Uh-oh. I don't know how to turn myself off of screen share.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, wait. Now I can say stop share. Perfect.
Yay.
Okay. I do have I won't even say scraps. I would say I have a lot of waste because I probably cut those cornerstones at least 4 or 5 times before I figured it out.
Uh-huh.
And I was probably more than halfway through when I realized the cornerstones around each square are actually 2 of one colorway and 2 of another. So they alternate. And that took a lot of wrapping my brain around for some reason. And then when you're sewing them together, sometimes a green pipe is going against a yellow square, and sometimes the green pipe is hitting a green square. So there was a lot of lay it out and like carefully carried over to the sewing machine so I wouldn't move it around too much and get the seams right.
You really took on a challenge there.
I did. And I'm really happy. It turned out really what I wanted. It just took a lot of sweat to get there.
That's good.
And I I did create a lot of waste. I have a friend who makes cat beds for for a shelter, and she takes scraps or, kind of waste fabric. So I have a lot to contribute to the cat beds. But it
Okay.
is what it is. And I really am happy with it.
Have you decided on a backing yet, or?
I have two other coordinating fabrics that I bought for it that I didn't like the way they looked on the front. One is it's the same as the green and yellow, but it's black,
Mhm.
and it just didn't look right to mix that with the solid solid black on the front. So I'll probably use, and I probably have a yard or more of that because I was planning to use it a lot, and it's like, this does not work. So I have that, and then I have another coordinating print that has the animals, but it's on a solid green background instead of that mottled kind of thing. So it didn't look right on the front either. And the animals are a lot different scale. So I'm probably going to piece together, like a big 9-patch or something of those to put on the back, because I have plenty of that. I have very little of the green or yellow left because I wasted so much of it trying to cut it up. So yeah, but I've got the pieces to finish it, and I just need to figure out what I will do with that border. And I don't have enough of the piping stuff to go around the border, I don't think. I may look and see, but I don't think I have enough, and it may add too much anyway.
Well, it looks fantastic. I love it. Good
I
job.
love it.
Yay, yay, yay. Ready for mine? I guess so.
Yes.
All right. So, I was doing the triangles. Let me see if I can have it up there. See if
I
I
have to commend you for cutting panels apart, because I watched one of the videos of someone and she was just like, sacrilege. I cut the panel like just random instead of using it as a full picture.
see.
Wow.
Ta-da!
That's
It was
beautiful.
super fun. It turned out 60 by let me see if I can 60 by 72. So it turned out great. I did have to buy a little more fabric because I just thought it needed something. It needed
Mhm.
something. So that was fun. And my scraps, holy Toledo. I have some scraps. Let's see. I have to show you this one. It's so funny.
I can send you the address of the lady that does cat beds.
Would be good. Where is it? I have to show you. Oh, this one. This one's hilarious. Talk about tearing up a panel.
Wow. Swiss cheese triangles.
I'm going to try to get some squares out of it. So I have plenty of scraps
Yeah.
to go. And then the backing, I was at Joann's and I'm super excited. They have a doorbuster going on, 60% off. And I
Wow.
found this.
Ooh.
I
And that's the right blue that matches the blue on the front, right?
So I thought that was great. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna quilt it in this, and I think look, I have everything. And the panagram is gonna be deer in the woods, I think. I
Oh,
think
nice.
either that or I'll just outline the triangles. I can't
Yeah.
So I think it turned out great. I was super excited.
I noticed yours had a lot of directional fabric. Like that probably caused a lot of waste when you can't cut the triangles back and forth and upside down.
Absolutely. That was the hardest part, is I didn't realize almost all of it is directional.
Yeah.
So if I cut something wrong, I had to recut it. The only ones that are not are almost like the blenders.
Right.
Only like 3 flat fabrics. But
Huh.
so that definitely was a challenge. And I've never done a whole quilt with triangles. So
So
that
you're
was
like, hey, why not try everything new all at once?
right. And do you like my heading up there? It's kind of
That's
corny.
nice. Yeah.
I wanted to use more of the panel.
Yeah. And do you have some on the bottom too? Did you have more than 4 that said
I
Yellowstone?
decided no, I only have 4. And I just decided just the top. Yeah.
Yeah. That is nice. I probably noticed the fabric was directional because I think one of the panel quilts that I did, I was using, I think it was Riley Blake. and it has all these little animals, and I did not realize they were directional. And like you, every print in the collection was directional, and I'm doing flying geese. And it's like, oh wow, they're going everywhere. But they were small. It would have really shown on these if your buffalo were upside down.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for us? If you do, put them in the chat. We'll stop and say hi to Beverly. Hi, Remo. Thank you for joining. Jerry. Hi, Jerry. Wolf. So yay. Thank you guys. You are.
And you said you're keeping yours, right? You're keeping yours to.
I'm gifting it to my hubby.
Okay. That's kind of like keeping it, but okay.
I get to use it sometimes. Yeah. It's just, these are definitely his colors. And
Yay for hubby.
Yeah. So yeah, awesome.
So we should remind people about the prizes, because
Okay.
we almost forgot last time, but if you commented on the live that we did on my channel or on either one of our videos or on this one, I think after this one, we'll draw, we're going to do a random thing that picks from all the comments and pick at least 2 winners. And I have 2 panels that I'll give away. Let's see if I can get this one to show. And this one's like farm scene and animals and cuts of chicken. I think I may have gotten this one because it has cuts of pork over here. And my son's a chef and he kind of loves pork products. It's kind of a joke in our family, but I don't think he would really want a whole farm themed quilt. So this one is actually one of those ones that doesn't have the lines. So you can kind of figure out where to cut it yourself. So that's one of the ones I was going to give away. And then I also have this one. It's only 2 squares. So it's kind of one of those panels. It could be pretty pillows, or you could even make small quilts, maybe like crib size, and just use one of the panels for that. And this one's really sweet. If I can get the words to show, it has a thing that says, if you plant the seeds, they will grow. If you water and feed them, they will bloom. You're a seed, care for yourself. So
You
make a lot of like children's quilts. That's not real child theme thing, maybe for like a teenage girl. But so those are the 2 panels that I was going to give away for prizes from my side.
That's awesome. That second one, you can do almost like a medallion, use that as a center block.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
cool. Jerry has a question. She wants to know, do you always cut your panels?
I'm not sure. Well, for one like this, I mean, cutting it apart to make the 2 different pictures separate. This one, each one was this little block. It was all in one panel, but they were all separate blocks. So I just cut the separate blocks. But I do have my maybe next challenge to myself. I have this panel, and you know, Joe, you were talking about the triangles. I bought 6 of this panel. They were on like clearance so that I could maybe do the kaleidoscope quilt or the ones, but it's really ugly. I don't know why I thought I would want 6 of these.
They turn out fantastic though when you have,
yeah, it's a cute dinosaur, but then they're like really scary looking. So,
they're real is what it is.
right. And so what I think I'm going to do with this panel, instead of cutting it apart, I bought this fabric that kind of blends with it, if you can see. And I bought this, it's a batik, but it has the lines. And I think I'm going to lay a lot of that other one over it and cut out like peepholes where you can see the dinosaurs, and use this to make it look like a jungle, to put the leaves all around it. So the dinosaurs will show through, you know, in the little holes from the jungle. And that covers up some of the colors I thought were kind of weird, but I do have 6 of those. So I'm not sure if I want to do that or just make, you know, 6 that have borders and call it a day and give it to charity.
Oh, that sounds fun though. I like the jungle aspect.
Do some applique. I haven't done applique in a while, and I used to love to do that.
Gret says both are beautiful. Both quilts are beautiful. Thank you, Gret Roman. And then Kathy R, those turned out to be so much more work than a typical panel. Yes, for both of us.
Very true. I
And
mean, the
Remo,
goal, I'm sorry,
go
the
ahead.
goal is kind of to show panels don't have to just be borders, you know,
Right.
that it's like, that's, I won't say it's the easy way out. I mean, they still make beautiful quilts, but I like the challenge of trying to figure something out, but it was exhausting. And my
And
next one, simple borders around just
And some panels are just too pretty to cut for me. I have a couple that I probably would not cut. I would just build around them. I'd square them up and then
right.
on them. So some of them are just too pretty to cut. This one, I just saw it. When I saw the panels, I thought, let's try this. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking when you were saying that yours were, when I heard you say you were going to cut them, I was like, oh my God, she's going to cut those up. But they turned out really, I mean, you're right. It was perfect for it. And you get that vision in your head, and when you can actually make it work, that's really nice.
Yeah, that was my points aren't perfect, but they're very close. They're just that was too much work. I even took 4 small ones and made just trying to use up my fabric and made a small
Right.
3/4 6 3/8 triangle. Remo says, loving the quilts. She loves to chop up her panels. Diamond blocks are one of my favorites. Ooh, that would be fun. Especially with yeah, that would be fun.
Yours have a diamond shape on some of them. If they weren't directional, it could make the,
This could
I,
be a diamond shape, right?
I was stunned whenever I saw directional fabric. I was like, oh my gosh, Joe's cut a million triangles of directional fabric. Can't wait to see this. And I think Gret says she's got the hexagon multiple panels. That's a good thing. I went on, I think it was Fat Quarter Shop and maybe Missouri Star, and there's always a lot of panels out in the clearance area because I think people don't use them that much or don't know what to do with them. So I think I paid like $3 a panel for the ugly dinosaur panels, and I have 6 of them now.
Awesome.
You talked about points not matching, so I will show you. I have some pipes that are broken where they don't meet. And it was like, I am not recutting that or changing that. So I have 2 pipes that are broken, but you know, they're old pipes and they're underwater apparently, so that's okay.
There you go. I love that. I love that. As for me, my next panel project, I have a couple of projects that I'm going to be working on. Are you doing anything for Jelly Roll Month or Jelly Roll Day?
I did not know. When is Jelly Roll Day?
September 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so a Jelly Roll Day, or someone can correct me if I'm saying it wrong. So I'm gonna make a Jelly Roll beach towel. So I'm super excited about that. And then my panel, my next panel project will probably be, let's see. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot to show you the giveaways. I'm sorry. Let's see. This one's from Riley Blake, and I thought this would be cute with your pattern that you use with all of
the flying geese and bear
yes,
paws in between. Yeah,
it's like a yard.
nice.
Might be a little bit like 36 by 36. It might be. No, 36 by 44, 42.
That's big. You could
Yeah.
probably do a couple of quilts at least.
Possibly. So this is the first one. And then I'm going to do the other Christmas one. This one has peace,
Nice.
love, and then joy at the bottom.
That's pretty. That's really pretty. Very classic Christmas.
Yeah, that'd be fun to work on. So we'll when are we going to do that drawing? Do you know? You have an idea?
We could stay on after today and do it, and then post a short, or even post it back to these comments so that people could see.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
And then my quilt top for the
I have a panel that I actually have a jelly roll coordinate with. So maybe I'll do just like jelly roll strips around the edges and do several borders of that, because I've had that panel forever, and I have some coordinating fabric for it, and I have the coordinating jelly roll. And I was just kind of stuck with, okay, and it's not a panel I would want to cut. It's a big picture of a pretty little girl and all these bright colors. So maybe I'll have to pull that out for jelly roll day.
thought about that too, like doing a courthouse steps,
Oh, nice.
the jelly roll, because I have, there's two panels I'm looking at. The first one I thought, okay, I'm gonna finally do this. I call it Lion Safari.
Oh, that's
So
pretty.
I would keep him as big as I could keep him, because I like that one. So I wouldn't do too much cutting to that one. But again, I have two coordinating panels
Oh,
and chop up the zebras and the rhinos and make that a quilt top.
they're
Uh,
directions though. Those are direct.
they are. I have something about that. I do that a lot. Yeah.
I did have one other that may be one of my next. I'm trying to decide, do I really want to go easy for myself, or do I want to do the challenge again? And I'm probably going to go easy this time. But this is a panel. There's an organization close to us called Quilts for Kids, and they do sales, and they collect quilts for donations. These bears are climbing trees and laying down, so I guess it's not directional. At least they're facing different directions. Some of them may be upside down, but it just has these bears and squares. And I
Oh,
even thought it might be cool to cut a vertical row, and whole vertical row. But these panels, and I believe you can go online for Quilts for Kids. They have sales every now and then, but these must have been like samples from a fabric company, because on the panel they have squares printed of all the different coordinates that go with the panel, and it has their SKU numbers and everything. So I think it was probably meant like to show quilt shops, but there's enough material there to definitely be able to pull and do some patchwork and stuff. So
absolutely.
I'm thinking about, and I have a couple of those because they had a big sale at our Guild quilt show this year. They had a sale for, I think, $4 or $5 a panel, and I have several of those. So that'll be kind of fun for, you've got your coordinates, small pieces, and you can do some patchwork, and then you've got the panel to just put things around. I obviously have lots of projects in mind. Always.
Look at this. Oh, here we go. Jerry says, wow. Remo says, nice. Hi, Beth. Thank you for stopping by. I just saw her this morning.
Yeah.
And then Remo says, fussy cut would be awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then what's the last one?
I have from Kathy saying she quilts for relaxation, so she's not looking for a mental challenge. And I alternate those. I alternate doing the biggest square. I actually made a really beautiful king size quilt that had 10-inch squares or half square triangles. It sounds, it was easy because you have gigantic squares. I think it was 32 or 36 blocks all together. That's nothing to put together when you've got 10-inch squares of fabric. So right. I like they're like palette cleansers. You do those kind of quilts that are easy and don't require the mental gymnastics. And this was just one I had, like I said, I had in my brain when I saw those pipes. I wanted to make it look like pipes around it. But yeah, the next one will be much easier.
Out just fabulous.
Yeah.
Great.
But you've got me wanting to cut some triangles and see what I can do with some triangles.
I like that diamond. That might be my next challenge, but I can't start any more new projects, I told myself. I need to finish some of my old projects. So, but that diamond quilt top sounds fun too.
Yeah.
Using my pre-cuts again, you know me.
Yeah. Oh, you collect them, and like I have so many layer cakes and jelly rolls, and it's just like you collect them, and you hate to pull them apart almost. But I do have another one my daughter gave me that's a mix of red and white. So I thought of layer cake. It's like red up with white prints and white with red prints. And I may do that giant star with that because there's contrast between the two. And it was a fast quilt. I've got layer cakes to start with. I don't even have to cut the 10-inch squares. so
Yes.
coming up soon.
Well, awesome. 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 Well, thank you for inviting me on this
Sure.
journey.
Yeah.
It's super fun. And I've had a fun time, and you've gotten my creative juices going. So I want to try other things too. So
You might could do some pipe work. I might could do some triangles.
oh, that piping looks fantastic.
Yeah. I might would do it again.
Also
if it
looks very challenging too.
Yeah. I might would do it again if it was even squares and actually following a pattern instead of laying it out and marking chalk marks and saying, put a green stripe here. It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, it's very creative though, I think.
Yeah.
You made that pattern your own.
Oh yeah, definitely. Kind of the only thing I used from the AccuQuilt pattern were those cornerstones to figure out the weaving look. And the rest of it was just all over the place.
Can I ask a favor of you?
Sure.
I think you said it's quilts for kids.
Sure.
Would you put that in the description or make it available so anybody else that wants to do it? Are there any restrictions? Do they have to be a certain size?
It says on their website.
Okay.
And they actually, I believe they do it through mail. They're local to me, but I think they do through mail. You can actually get kits of like fabrics arranged together and then make the quilt and send it back. So they actually do that for people who want to make quilts. I would have to check about if they do mail. I think they do, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll put it in the comments and then you can cut and paste it into the description if you want.
That's perfect. That would be awesome. I just thought that'd be a great thing to do. A lot of us have baby quilts or have panels that will be great baby quilts or kids quilts, I should say. And
right.
Be a great way to give back. So I'd love to participate too myself.
And some of these, especially with the children's one, are kind of more instant gratification. Like neither one of ours was instant gratification, but a lot of the panels, if you're not doing a lot of elaborate stuff to it and maybe making patchwork around the edges or what, a lot of those are so fast and they're fun to make and they're not giant. It's like they're not a huge commitment. And then you have a kid size quilt and you have a limited number of kids in your life. So I enjoy making those a lot.
Hey, that's good. Let's see.
But, four quilt-alongs. Geez.
Wow.
I have a hard time with that because I get behind like month one.
Remo, I'm just curious, how do you organize? How do you stay organized when you do 4 quilt-alongs? Do you work on one Monday, one Wednesday, one Saturday? How do you stay organized? That's my question for you, Remo.
And that's probably one reason I get challenged by it is I'm not the most organized and I'm not the most routine of do the same thing on Monday or Wednesday or Friday. I tend to way be more like, okay, let's put that off till tomorrow. So maybe that's part of my challenge too, is have to have a block ready or something ready at a certain time. Then I'm doing it at 10 o'clock at night, like this one.
Does she say? I don't see that she says. Okay. But I think I would have to have, that's probably one of the things I need to work on in the new year is coming up with a routine for myself. So this one was fun. And I tend to go for the fun and just do it all, jump all in. When something stops being fun, then it's like, I'll set it aside for a little while. So I need to come up with a routine to finish more.
Yeah. That's when we all have UFOs. And I have some orphan blocks that I got from our guild and also just ones that I make that never make it into anything. And I've really been trying to think about what I could do with that, but it's not as fun as the next thing. So it is hard to, I'm just like you, just like chase the fun and the glitter. And at some point, I think maybe in all quilts, you get past the glitter stage and it's like, okay, I just have to put a binding on. And that's not fun. That's not the interesting part.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Oh, she said she has schedule planner sheets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Remo, I don't know what time zone you're in, but we may be going to bed at the same time a lot of nights. I will catch myself like, okay, Ginger, you have to go to bed at midnight. You've got to work tomorrow. And then it's like, yeah, okay. And I need to finish this one more thing and this one more thing. Yeah, it gets later and later.
Here's a planner sheet. All right, you might have to share that with me, okay? You can write it all down and get a little more organized. This year, I have made over 20 quilts. And so,
Wow.
but it's time to quilt them. So that's my focus for
Uh,
the end of the year. I'm going to try to.
You have a handy quilter, right? You do your own?
I do. I have a Simply 16. It's very limited. It does lap size only, but I'm taking on the challenge to, I shouldn't say it does lap size only. That's the most comfortable for me.
Yeah, I have the same thing.
Yeah, you have to work to make anything bigger. So
You have to clamp and reclamp instead of roll. Yeah.
And I decided I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna try to finish at least half of those this year. Quilt them. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll watch your wrap up in December.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Anything else you want to add, Ginger?
No, I'm good. And I really enjoy getting to meet you. And I think we may be at the same quilt retreat in 2 years. So we'll actually get to meet in
A well, 2025.
Right. It's a long way away, but that's what you have to do to get in some of these. I'm going to another G spend in March. And I registered and paid for that a year in advance just so I can be sure I get into it.
There you go.
But,
ready to go.
Yeah, the community, you know, sewing itself or quilting itself could be really lonely or solo and isolated. So getting to participate in guilds or like this online or watching other people's YouTubes or retreats, that's really the fun part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What was before we go, just tell me a little about Gia Benz and the retreat there.
So it's a really different kind of retreat. It's kind of like recess for 3 or 4 days. It's at a retreat center that is, well, it's actually large. It's just, I guess, it's not a real a normal place to go on retreat, and it's outside of Jackson, Mississippi. So we had the whole building to ourselves, and there were about 40 people, and people were literally out in the hallways spreading quilts on the ground. But the G-Spin quilters, they are descendants of slaves, and this small community, it's a really interesting story. This is their thing. This is what they do, their quilting tradition, and they do a lot of really primitive kind of quilting. And it's not even necessarily like my style per se, but I just wanted, when I heard they had retreats, I had to sign up. And the ladies come around and just talk to you, and they give you advice. And some people are doing planned pattern quilts, and some people are doing improv, and some people, you know, are just really doing their style. So it was like playing recess for 3 or 4 days. The room was actually open like 24/7. I would get up and maybe start around 6 and go to bed around midnight and stop for meals. But they also had breaks where they would stop and like sing. They're singers in their church choirs and just beautiful singing. And they told some really fun stories. So it was really exciting. And that one hanging behind me is what I made. It's improv and just strips and pieces, and the triangles around the edges are just kind of free cut. But I'm still very much computer science girl, and it's still got a lot of straight lines. So I have a second one that I started there too with these same colors and everything, but I cut a lot of curves. So I'm trying to get out of the straight lines, but improv can be straight lines too. But they just have an incredible story. There's documentaries about them online.
Yes, I've seen it. And I went to Huntington Gardens out here. They have a quilt on display.
Oh, okay.
Botanical Gardens. So I got to see that this summer. It was early this summer in June. Yeah, so it was pretty wonderful. They hand stitch, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, they do piece by machine, or the ladies that
okay.
But they have exhibits all over, I don't know world, I know all over the United States, because we went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, and you know, we were roaming around. It was just a weekend. We just went for the weekend and wandered in there. and came around a corner and there was an exhibit of their quilts. And I was just, it's like I could have stayed there forever. And I already knew about them. So then I was really a big fangirl. So they just have an incredible story. And they're just
I will put the link. I'll put a link to the YouTube video that I watched and their website.
I
Because
did a short video from the retreat just showing what people were making and stuff. So I'll put that in the comments too, if I can put a link, or I'll send it to you. I did a short video just kind of roaming around and showing what people were doing and everything. But it was a lot of fun, and it was just, we just got to sew and no pressure and not any kind of goal to make anything. That was fun. This had a goal and there was some pressure. But
a little bit, right? Yeah.
a little bit.
But we'll have to do another collab in the near future.
Yeah, I would
yeah.
love that.
Fun. Okay.
Maybe a pre-cut challenge.
I like
Just
that. A pre-cut and a panel challenge. That's it. All right.
but that fits in your goals for the year.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up. We appreciate you. And if you are watching it as a replay, we would love for you to subscribe to either channel, or both would be wonderful.
Yeah.
And you can leave a comment so that you can be entered. Are we ending it right now? We're ending it right now. Do you want to give it a couple days?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe wait till tomorrow in case
Okay.
people miss it today, and we'll do it tomorrow.
So we're giving away panels. So leave a comment, sorry.
And you have to watch for the name drawing, because I know I did a giveaway and the lady never contacted me back, but we don't have your email addresses. If you comment and stuff on YouTube, unless you have it in your profile, we don't have a way to contact you. So be sure to come back and look for comments, or watch for either one of us to do a live or short that announces who it is. So you have to come look for us, because we can't find you. YouTube doesn't give us all that info.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Let's do a short with the winners.
Yeah.
Okay. That way it's a little easier for you to find us.
Yeah.
Right.
And they pop up, they come up so easy on the screen. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for stopping in. Oh, wait, before we go, let's see. Gert says this was fun. My first chat. Thank you. My first live.
And Jerry, you have to leave a comment, so you're already in. All you had to do was leave a comment on this video or the other ones.
Right.
So you asked the question, how do I enter? You entered.
And Beth looks like she didn't realize that Gia Benz does retreats. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
They're like rock concerts to get into, because I heard about it and they announced what time they were going. This was the one after the pandemic, and they told me this one was unusual, but they actually said, we're going live at 1 Central Time and you can buy your tickets, you can register. And I had it on my calendar. I was ready. I logged in at 1, and there's 3 a year, I think. The first 2 were sold out. And this was for the next year. Wow. So I got into the third one for the next year, and within 8 or 9 minutes, they were all sold out and had wait lists. It was like, what is this? But I think they're a lot more open now. I think, she said that was after the pandemic, and there was kind of a backlog of people who wanted to attend.
That sounds like a Taylor Swift or a Beyonce.
It was. It was like burn down.
Getting to a retreat.
Yeah. So I think they have 3 or 4 maybe a year, but they have a web page, and they have a Facebook group too, I think. So if you search,
Mississippi.
Yeah. If you search Gee's Bend Retreat, you'll find it.
Awesome.
And it's all inclusive, your rooms included, all your food. They had some great home. I mean, it was catered, but they had some great like home cooking. I'm from the South, and everything was very familiar. They had wonderful food, and it was just a great experience to get to hang out with. It's Marianne and China Petway are the 2 ladies that do the retreat, and just to get to be around them. And like, I was starstruck.
I definitely have to look into it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going to say bye. Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Please
thanks.
leave a comment and subscribe.
Do all the buttons.
Right?
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, and now I have to figure out how to stop the live. This is gonna be interesting. Where is it?
Where's the doctor? Did he walk away?
I-
It's up to the top left. It says YouTube on the top left.
Oh.
Drop down the arrow.
There he is.
And stop.